How are you, sir?
There he is.
There he is.
Yes!
Let's rock!
Be quiet.
I'll just stop that for now. Doing work all day today, working on some motorcycle parts, doing, say, the Lux touch-up is what I call it, where it's, not a proper paint job, but it's not tapping in little spots of touch-up paint, which basically looks like you sneezed on the part. It's somewhere in between. So, what I'm going to do here, I've been setting up Streamlabs and trying to learn how to work with it better. So, let's see what I got. I want to do, I'm working with, on my comic book, that's some reference material. You'll see I've actually imported that into Clip Studio, but just give me a second. I want to copy this and throw it into this one group and see if anybody wants to watch me trip over this thing. Watch me trip over Streamlabs. The one thing that I need to figure out how to do quickly is when somebody comes in, get their camera figured out, get their audio figured out so that they're basically in the same window right there with me. And this is the best way I can think of to entice a lab rat. Say I need a guinea pig. Okay, so if we see anybody stop in, we'll throw it over to, we don't need that. Turn that off. We'll put on the digital draw here. Okay, so this is page 17 of the comic I'm working on. Asphalt. And what we've got is page 2. Let me see if I'll open the recent. I'm going to open page 16. So page 16 starts with, you can see, is that what's coming up here on the labs? Yeah. So page 16. There's some other what do we want to call it? Panels up here that need to be inked in, but I kind of wanted to get working on the car chase portion of it because I don't know, I'm waiting on somebody's opinion, and the pro is gonna take a look at it for me and let me know what they think. Anyways, I was working on the next page today, so this is the beginning of the car chase, and then we come over here and we're right in the middle of it, pulling alongside, working the pedals, working the stick, and what we've got is a pit maneuver is about to happen, and I really lucked out looking for reference material. And yes, I don't care who knows it. I'm going to do some light tracing. It's really hard to find decent material of a car this old and with the wheels turned and in the exact right position. The Charger, not so much, or it's actually a lot easier. So I was going to come in here and just kind of lay down some basic lines, and then get the rest figured out, so that I mean, we don't want to. I mean, I'm not going to go and just plop in a photo and have it look like, we want the pencil, and have it look like nobody actually did any work. Just some basic lines here, so that we're not like way off. There is, just in case anybody's curious, moments where I'm using a reference material and actually like drawing the car here. Our Yenko Nova, that's a drawing, that's not a tracing. And in other cases, because I want to be hyper accurate on a lot of these elements on a Yenko Nova, and you can see here the Yenko label. That's a very special thing. It's local to this area, about one exit away. The Yenko brothers, the way it used to work back in the 70s, is you would get your standard, but like your base model Nova, or Chevy. The Yenkos didn't work on anything but Chevys, and then they would get into the engine, get into the suspension, and just trick it out and basically turn it into a high performance race car. And that was something that you could do. You bought the car, and then if it was either a Chevy or it was a Yenko Chevy. They did it to Chevelles, they did it to Novas, and I think a couple other models. So it's a very unique, very special car. And one of the things that was unique about it was the on-hood tachometer. And that's why I have it here. There will be some subtlety. Anybody who knows, what a tachometer does, you'll see revving at 5,500 RPMs, and then downshifting, downshifting to 5,500 RPMs, and then you taking your foot off the clutch, winding the motor down, and now you're a little bit more closer to idle and drifting, until our bad guys, blow past right here, and then our hero driver here, our good guy driver, is going to perform a pit maneuver. So I just want to get some basic lines in here, and so I'm always looking to a desperate attempt at creating content for my channel. So that's what I'm doing here. So I hope everybody's having a good tail end of the week. I'm going to be headed over to a pinhead meet just on the other side of the West Virginia middle finger, and I look forward to it every year. It's a bunch of pinstriper, custom paint, sign painter guys, just absolute top shelf talented artists that we all get together, and we paint and drink and tell stories about, we basically and I'm sure this happens in every industry, we talk about our customers behind their back. Not all of them, just the hey, have you ever had this happen to you? And it's like a real recharge. It's basically like it's a comic convention, but it's not huge. It's like a little sign shop. Our one buddy likes to open up his shop, and we drink and barbecue, and sometimes wives come out. Sometimes they bring kids, because you want to get fresh blood into the industry, so it has some place to go. And more often than not, I hear people will say, right in the middle, while I'm painting, they'll be like, "Oh man, it's a dying art. It's a dying art," and the only way to keep it alive is, get the kids involved. Bring your kids, inspire somebody, and when they're looking for help, give it to them. But I need to do a traditional page. I feel like I'm getting really soft when it comes to actually drawing on paper. But the Clip Studio is such a versatile. You just erase while you're going along, and it's very forgiving. I do feel like I'm cheating, but if you're gonna draw and stream at the same time, well, I mean, I got a camera over at the other desk. I could do that, and I have done that before when I'm like painting, pinstriping or doing gold leaf or working on Christmas ornaments. So, hell of a week, man. It's been for people like me and those who have the same, I guess you would call it a political bent. Every day's been like Christmas since January 20th, and sometimes I feel like I'm going to wake up and it's all going to have been a dream. But it's actually it's strange the way that things have been going. I wonder. What I should be doing is looking at my stream on this other screen here, and I'm not. I'm just kind of absorbed in the work here. Let's see what's going on here. Go on my channel. Here we go. Yeah, so I titled it Testing Streamlabs because I know there is stuff I'm still getting used to. It's got a lot more bells and whistles. It's got more moving parts. And it's more versatile, and it's less expensive than StreamYards. And I guess with StreamYards, you're probably paying for the convenience. And I feel like I've said this before already, but hey, whatever. As long as my face is on the screen, I guess my mouth should be doing something too, moving foot noises coming out. I mean, really, what I there's so many things to do down here, and stuff to take care of in the studio office. Come on. I think sometimes I need to move my equipment around. I feel like I might have everything on the opposite side that it needs to be. My printer's over here. Maybe it should be over here. Mixing board and other stuff is over here. It might be better over here, so that I'm not smacking. If I want to, work on the tablet, I have to be careful not to bump the microphone. And I feel like, whenever I get back from this little excursion, I need to rearrange stuff so that I'm, I guess, efficiency of movement. If you've ever seen the Founder, there's a scene where the McDonald's brothers are showing Ray Kroc the select, I think they call it the Select Speedy service or the Select service, the way that they run their kitchen. And they go out to a tennis court and they draw all of the spaces, pardon me, on the ground. This is where the oven is. This is where the fryer is. And they get their employees to come out and pretend and pantomime that they're working in the kitchen. One guy's standing on a ladder so he can kind of get a bird's eye view of how this whole thing is working, and they're kind of coaching it and trying different things, erasing equipment from one spot, basically virtually moving it around, so that it's flip the burger, put the fries in, and it's just this would you call it, like a well orchestrated. Everything's kind of working together in concert, and I feel like when I'm trying to, the way that you would have a drum set up. Like my snare's on the wrong side, and it's something that I never really think about until I start streaming, and I'm like, yeah, I want to get my hands on the monitor over here because all the dials and buttons, it makes it easier to work with, and I've got my left hand on the keyboard over here, space bar shift. If I want to use the hotkeys to change tools out and stuff. And I think there's probably a more efficient way to do it. But I haven't taken the time to really flesh that out yet. So hopefully one of these days I'm going to be able to make so much progress on this book that it's going to take some interest. Somebody will get interested in it enough to really, I don't want to like help out or whatever, but I know I'm going to need a colorist at the end of this. I've got some pages in the Comicsgate forum for people to look at, and I like to hear what everybody thinks. There is wisdom and abundance of counsel, I believe, is in the book of Proverbs. And I agree. And that is not to say that I want a product that is a result of a committee. There is a singular vision here, but I do want to make sure that I am not displaying, but like that I am respecting the craft. I have of late seen a real problem with one creator. We all know who we're talking about. Well, shit, I'm not going to talk about it like that. When Eric July comes in with $3.4 million and doesn't even know what he's looking at well enough to understand that the help that he's getting is not giving them the best that they could from the money that he's paying. Well, of course, I don't know how much he's paying these people, but it's if somebody was coming into a place that I know what I'm doing in like with custom paint, and they start whether they know it or not shitting all over a craft that come on. Okay, unlock here. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. What actually damages the reputation of the other people that are in it. Oh yeah, pinstripers. I know those people. They're all shysters. Nobody who needs that. You can't have somebody coming in there pretending that they know what they're doing. They don't. They display that they don't know what they're doing. They basically prove it by putting out a crap product, and then does not display the capacity for the ability or the desire to improve. All right, so from here it's going to be a little bit more dramatic. I'll have my reference material over to the side, but I want to get this part figured out. I just get these basic lines down here. Yeah, this is such a badass car. Can't see. Oh, no. That's the edge of the picture. Right. So, Part of the reason why I'm doing this simple tracing here is because I want the car to be accurate. Um, oh, what did I see the other day? I was looking at a post on Twitter that Vonster put out, and his artist had. I'm pretty sure it was a drawing, not a tracing. I don't even think they did this much, but it was a really good representation of a GTO. And dramatic angle. I liked it a lot. There is going to be an opportunity, I'm sure of it. There is going to be an opportunity to. There's just going to be a point where I can't find the reference that I need, and like for instance, here, this will be different. This is what I need to learn how to do this in Streamlabs. So here it is. Hey, Squaw Bob, I didn't even see you in there. Oh, what's going on, man? Yeah, Nova's got a nice big butt. Okay. There's one of these in the comic book, so I put a model together so I could use it for reference. And there's one of these. Yeah, it's dusty up there. One of these. And thanks for showing up, Squaw Bob. That's very much appreciated. Yeah, a nice 1970s hot rod. Like a muscle car. I don't think there's a better shape. I can appreciate like a 50 Merc, or like an old Pontiac or old Bonneville or something like that. But and even a Cadillac. But I mean, if I had an era of car that is my favorite, it's going to be the late 60s, early 70s. And yeah, man, I like cartooning cars on their own, and I would love but this is a little bit more of a serious book, so I don't feel like a cartoon of a car would work. I would like to be able to add some of that attitude to it, and I hate to say it, the amount of time that I have to spend on any one thing is so small that I have to be open to any of the ways that I can save time. And this is one of them. I don't. There's a point where when you're looking for reference material, if you're like looking for just the right car, which is one of the reasons why I built the model, is because these get modified in so many different ways that it's impossible to find a car like that in a bunch of different angles, a bunch of different engine configurations. Some of them will have the high-rise manifold, some of them will have a blower, some of them won't even be an open hood. So it's really hard to find. Even like this Chevy Deuce, this Yengo Deuce, it's really hard to find one like at this angle. I got really lucky, and if it was going to take me a long time to find it, I would be kind of okay. Well, this angle's close, but I'm going to use this reference material and try to move things around in my head and kind of draw it the way that I did up in this. Where is it? In this panel up here. I gotta be careful. I mean, I don't want to finish the car just off of this, but I want to make sure that I at least have this is how wide the chrome strip is. And this is how it would, disappear. It's kind of nerve-wracking. You don't know exactly who's going to be reading the comic book. Oh yeah, yeah. So, Cars with Wings, Squaw Bob. Have you seen the Fantastic Four trailer? Because if you haven't, check it out. The Fantastic car that's in there. It's a very retro. I think the one reviewer, Comics Matter with your boy Zach, was watching it, and he goes, "It's the Fantastic Four government name, the Incredibles, because the design aesthetic is very similar. I don't want to say Art Deco, but more like a 50s a 50s aesthetic, a 50s right on the way, as wings were pretty prevalent on cars. I could pull it up. That would actually be fun to do, and it'll be good practice here. Let me see. I'm gonna find it first, and then I'll pull up the tab on Streamlabs. Okay, let's see. We'll go big, and then we'll go Streamlabs. It's almost like I need more than one monitor. Yeah. I'll pull it up right here, and let's go to chat boxes and everything already. So if we go to the live chat screen, I should still see you up there. I do, and then I'm gonna turn on there, and then hit play. Let me know if you can hear it, please. If it's too loud.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7, on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming? Yeah, I'll be the judge of that. Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip.
See, it looks like it's kind of quiet to me.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here.
I'm gonna see this car.
Visit us. We'll face it together.
Unless I missed it. There it is. Check that out. Isn't that awesome? I'm actually going to back this up a little bit. And then slow it down. Where are we? Playback speed. Let's slow it down to half and watch this thing go. Cool, right?
As a family.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I need to figure out though like, let me know how it sounded, because I am unaware. Yeah, it's different. Was it really quiet? The only way I can know that is by listening back. Oh, cool! There's a new pitch meeting. I love pitch meeting. Pitch meeting is like a guilty pleasure. My biggest YouTube guilty pleasure. Yeah, the USB audio device. I wonder if I need to add another audio device for the web, for the live chat window. Because all it does is... Anyways, Yeah, okay. It was a bit quiet, or because the only way that I can control it is right from the website, from YouTube. I can't really control it from here unless I get into the guts of I don't want to say like the guts of the computer, but adding a different sound source and all that stuff. Anyways, I'm going to keep going with the drawing here. Let's see, there we go. The whole thing is okay, let's see. Okay, my audio device is up as far as possible, and it might be that I'm just not talking right into the microphone, because the microphone's over here. It's like based over here, and I've got it stretched all the way out, so that's like right in front of my voice here. Or I mean, in front of my mouth, in front of my voice. Okay, I'll just pull this over the side. And get back to it. Yeah, so the these Yanko Deuces were just over in the. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The what was I doing yesterday? I was well, I was on a stream with somebody while they were talking. I was working on this one shifting gears type thing. But I need to. Man, I just wish there was time to do everything. Go to work, come home. It would be a lot easier to get stuff done if sleep wasn't an issue. How I loathe sleep. Those little slices of death. It's I believe Edgar Allan Poe. I could be wrong. Again, I should just be making indications here. Hey, you want me to practice bringing somebody in? I can send you, I think, over Twitter. I can send you the link if you want to try coming in. It'd be a lot easier than typing stuff out. But let me know. You might not have the time or whatever, and that's fine. I get it. But I do want to get at least get good enough with this to where I realize that I don't want to pay for it for another year if I don't have to. I was looking at what is it, Rumble Studio, and that looks like it's pretty easy. This thing here though, it's really a lot more for video game players and people on Twitch. But it's got cool graphics and it's all these different moving parts, and it's a little bit like a playground. All right, cool. Well, what is going on there, if you don't mind my asking? You don't have to go into like huge detail, but as long as we're talking, how's life treating you? How's life treating you? Answer me! So I get a nice straight line here. Actually, we'll go all the way down. Super cheating now. Boom. Super cheat. Boom. Super cheat again. Any predictions for the Super Bowl? I predict that the refs are going to win, but that's just me. In the end, it'll be the refs that pull it out. My understanding is that Mahomes is going to show up in one of those giant plastic balls, or there's going to be like a lot of bubble wrap involved. You no longer follow professional sports of any kind, which it sounds to me like you used to. And for a while there, I tried really hard not to watch the NFL because I couldn't stand that they were wagging their finger at me all the time, telling me that I'm racist. I shouldn't say that. Implying that I am racist by letting me know that it does take all of us, which includes me, to end racism, which is not something that I, involve myself in. And a lot of people don't. But I did hear just recently that according to the New York Times, they're not going to be displaying that in the end zone. Every time somebody gets 6 points, you get to feel guilty for being a racist, because it does take all of us. And nobody can really know if you're doing your part or not to end racism. So that's good. That's a nice change. I'm going to have to remember to leave room for a fist right here. Fist on the steering wheel. And there. We're going to have to put our character's head, shoulder. Realistically, I'll tell you how unrealistic all of this is. Nobody in their right mind. Well, I mean, if their granddaughter's life was in jeopardy, and then they knew that they were going to get run off the road, would anyone ever take a cherry car like this and perform a pit maneuver, unless you knew a guy that could fix it? Our character here, Pap, he happens to know a guy. You're in Atlanta. You used to like the Falcons, Eagles, New England, Seattle. Geez, you used to like all the wrong teams. Well, at least one of them's in there. I would like to see Philadelphia win. I don't want to see a three-peat. I don't want to see KC three-peat. They beat the Bills, which I didn't think the Bills were going to get past Kansas City, and it's not because the Bills can't beat Kansas City. I have yet to see Josh Allen not choke in a playoff game. I gotta pull this out so I can see what's going on here. John Madden, playing Madden. Yeah, I think I've got Madden 13 on the Xbox 360. If I play the Steelers, Mendenhall is my running back. Again, it's a practical thing. I've got no time to play video games. Why invest in something like as much as I would love it, a PS5? The day that I can afford a PS5 is the day that I hit the lottery, and not because I can afford it with the lottery money, but I can afford not to work and do nothing but play video games all day. I would invest in a PS5 then. In fact, I would go all the way back and get a PS1, 2, 3, and I got the 3. I would get all the systems. Or that one machine that where they're all in one. Incidentally, is the sound better now that I'm talking straight into the mic? I heard that's something that you can do to improve the sound. I mean, it's the only noise that anybody needs to hear right now. I liked hearing Frank Caliendo do John Madden impressions. Here's a guy who, when he eats a lot, he takes a big dump later. Okay, good. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, there. It's good. Right there. Right there. Yeah. You know, I remember when I was a kid, my old man had like Cosby on vinyl. Um, oh, that might not be a. Oh, yeah, I think that's a rocker panel line. It's a body separation line. He had Wonderfulness. Why Is There Air? I started out as a child, and it was the other album was Bill Cosby is a Very Funny Fellow, right? That one it was one of his more famous routines, the Noah's Ark routine, and there was just like a repeat line in there, right, yeah. Noah, the joke is that Noah did not believe what he was hearing God tell him to do. Anyways, yeah, All the Wrong People. Yeah, that was kind of a heartbreaker, that one. Especially after, everything that he was supposedly had represented to the, not just the black community, but, really kind of good advice for everybody. Don't be a dickhead. And I like the Cosby Show too, man. I liked seeing that family. It was like quintessential 80s. Don't take my childhood away like that. Don't slip a Mickey into my childhood. Speaking of old stuff, yeah, how long can you tread water? Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, that was a good one. Wonderfulness was the one where he was on the go-kart on the album cover, and the big routine. It was like an entire one side of the album. That one routine, the chicken heart that ate up the New Jersey Turnpike. This is all going to be silhouetted shapes. I don't need to spend a lot of time on this. Get this done quick and dirty. There. Yeah, some of this is going to be cleaned up with this here tool. It could be a lot more. The one thing I wish Clip Studio would do is what Procreate is really good at. 10 o'clock is when the monsters come. Yeah, 10 o'clock is when the monsters come out. You mean, we're going out. His parents are going out, and they left 1,000 poisonous steaks under the bed. Well, how come I can't see them? They're invisible. And that's how you kept your kids in bed. That's how you could go. That's how you could go out at night without calling a babysitter. Babysitter, what? Some stranger looking after my kid? Why, I'd just as soon leave him home by himself. Linear figure ruler. There it is. This thing. It's handy. It's handy if you get it right. And you got to move it like this. And then maybe you got to kind of... I hate trying to grab onto this. Gonna grab it like that and move it like this and move it like that, and then you can take get your tool. And that's how you make your oval. It seems like it's just a lot of trouble. Procreate, you just kind of, you make a shape like this and you hold it, and then it just snaps into an ellipse, and then you can edit it after that. If this program could do that, then boy, that would be a game changer. I mean, especially for, if you're drawing a lot of cars. And I don't know how, Clip Studio, this is comic books. There's going to be cities, and in these cities are going to be cars. Even if it was a Western, there's going to be wagons and wagon wheels. This is just this is the pencil page. I'll be able to sort all this stuff out with that tool later when I'm toiling away at the inking stage. I do want to get this part out correctly. These sick wheels. Lug nut, lug nut, lug nut. Whoops. Yeah, man, those car guys. I'm afraid somebody's going to look at this drawing and be like, that's not where that goes. That's not really a deuce. Yeah, it is. And then at the end of the month, I've got another thing in Ohio, a Piston Power show. A bunch of us get together and do a charity event, and we do a bunch of pinstripe art and bring different panels and other objects that have like cool, maybe a rat fink design or other period pinstripe type stuff. And there's even more of us there. That one's a little bit more like work. But we raise money for trade school, some trade school foundation. That's a lot of fun. Crazy paint. In fact, I think, yeah, this is. Let me do that trick again. Oh yeah, here we go. This is one of the T-shirts. Cleveland IX Center. It's a lot of fun, and that's all weekend. That's it's not just like, well, I mean, so is this one, but this is a little bit more like, there's guys that show up at this thing. They might not even paint. They're just there to hang out and see some of the old timers, or they're old timers themselves, and they don't feel like standing for 8 hours in front of an easel. But I got the one guy that comes in from North Carolina, and he's a baker. He always brings, like the last time he brought a cake that was a dude riding a motorcycle. And it was like, it looked really cool, and I was like, don't even cut into that. That's not for eating. You're just supposed to look at that. Yep, the T-shirt art is here to stay. I remember seeing a documentary with was Robert Crumb. He did all like the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers and Fritz the Cat, and if you're familiar. And he was making this. I don't know why this stuck in my head, but he's making this observation about how people are just walking billboards because they always have these. They're wearing T-shirts, and they'll say like Marlboro or some a beer baseball team or something like that, And he was like wondering why that is, and wondering why it is that people allow themselves to be just walking advertisements for something and they don't get anything in return. Really, it's just some like odd. Oh yeah, dude. Do you remember doodle art? See, because now at this point, the stuff that you're throwing out there, you're really starting to age yourself. And because I know what all of it is, I'm aging myself. I don't need help doing that. Doodle art was really cool. And it was just like a black and white poster, and they gave you a ton of markers and stuff, and you just like sat there and colored it in. But they were like really. Let's see if I can pull this up. From back in the day. Doodle art images. And they're just going to give me people doodling stuff. And yeah, doodle art posters. 1970s. And there was one with a bunch of cars and stuff on it. It was like a giant confusing highway. Sad, these ones are all colored in. That's no fun. Or even better, Squaw Bob, the stuff that you would see on. Okay, well, actually, this is this right? Maybe. Open image. New tab. Okay, let's go to this other window. I got way too many icons on the desktop here. Right there. So all these like little complicated things, and they give you a bunch of markers, and you just like color it in and whatever. They had one that was twisty and turny like this, only it was all like entangled freeways and cars and stuff, and it you try to follow it all over the place. It was like trying to color in something from MC Escher. Those were a lot of fun. But I know what you're talking about. You are talking about actually. Let me find that again. I saw something close to it. Yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty cool drawing here. So you'll see guys that do stuff that's even more complicated than this, only it's all like in color and painted. In the enamels and the same stuff that they paint the signs in. Really colorful. I got one, Peter Max. Why does that? Do I know who that is? I'm gonna go look for that now. Let's see. Oh yeah. I bet if you're probably talking about. Are you talking about this? I'm going to put this over here. This is going to be a lot easier. Are you talking about this? Yeah, I got when I first met my wife, she was reading a lot of like true crime stuff. And I tried to get her involved in like following some of the stuff like the expert and them follow, because I know they're all about that. But she was always like not one of those people who are like a Charles Manson head or anything like that, but that kind of stuff always kind of interested her. And I found a serial killer coloring book and got it for her for Christmas. You know, it's a nice way to relax at the end of a hard day. Yeah, okay. The Art of Peter Max. I have to show you this. Okay, I'm going to do some surfing here. Okay, one of my favorites, and this is that I used to hang out in the record store all the time. Oh, Stanley Mouse. Album art, yeah. And I think he went by two different names, but you would recognize this, I'm sure. Okay, this is apart from Frank Frazetta being the reason why I ever bothered to listen to Molly Hatchet. I used to stare at this stuff. This was Infinity, Evolution, Departure. Escape was good, but I don't know if he did that one. It was different. I love these like planetary things with wings and stuff. I may have my story wrong. I don't think so, but I believe what was going on with this particular piece is that Stanley Mouse was commissioned to do a album cover for the Jimi Hendrix Experience, and it was supposed to be something like this. Then he died. It was maybe not the Experience, but another Jimi Hendrix release. It was supposed to be this, and he died, and the artwork needed to be used for something, and so it went to Journey, and then it just was. That was their look for a long time. Like, you see, the same thing. And then I think I like Infinity better just because it has this like the glow behind it. You know, you're kind of seeing through the feathers. But anyways, that's all. Like, you'll notice it's like it says there. Is it displaying correctly? Is it? Yeah, it says there. Jimi Hendrix Scarab album cover. Frank Frazetta was awesome. I'm a huge fan. I've got a bookshelf over there that's groaning under the weight of his stuff. I wish I could, if I could trade all my talent in for one other, all the stuff that I know, and trade it in for one guy's talent, swap brains with him, I'd swap them with Frank Frazetta. It wouldn't even be, I wouldn't even be thinking about it. Let's see. Yeah, this stuff is awesome. Anyways, let me get back to. It may be that I just don't have enough. I don't have enough monitors to do this. Yeah, well, Frank Frazetta was one of the. He. I don't know. Okay, revolutionized comics. I know that he revolutionized the way that comic art is seen. His contemporaries and the guys that he used to draw with, and a lot of times they would cover for each other. Not that their styles were exactly the same, but they were versatile and talented enough where they could, one guy could fill in for another. He goes, oh yeah, I can draw like Al Cap or whatever. But a lot of these guys did not keep their original stuff, and he did, and I think that he is one of the forerunners in understanding how much the original comic book art is worth, or just originals in general. The idea being, well, just because it's a comic book. And it may be, society's general outlook that this stuff is, well, it's only comics, and so it doesn't. It's not a fine art. Bullshit. somebody had to use all of the rules of art to make this original art, and that's basically it. I know a lot of guys, including EVS, will. He doesn't do. I don't think he does anything digitally at all. Shane Davis doesn't. John Malin does, but he does work on originals too. The main argument being, just like what we were talking about, you can't sell an original digital. Now, there is something I'm working on the iPad. The first page of this book, I wouldn't say that I've grown or anything like that, but I've got my eye is a little bit more refined working on this page 17 that I was working on page 1, and I don't like the original page 1. There's things that are wrong with the perspective, and when enough people tell you that thing that you already know. Yeah, look at this. You can see the gas tank under here. It's time to change it. So I'm using the iPad so that I can work in Procreate and get a decent. And it's a complicated scene too, because there's fire escapes in there. There's those bars and lines and stuff going all over the place. And I want that first page needs to be a little bit more. It needs to have more oomph. Okay, let's see what this looks like without the picture behind it. Yeah, that's good. I need to get this front tire in, and then it's probably good to go. So I'm going to use the iPad to do the same thing, work with a reference, and yeah, okay, so I'll be able to look at the reference that I've got. I need to get the background in here, make sure my road's going the right way. My dotted lines, this is an extreme perspective, so, my double yellow line or whatever that is going this way, motion lines and stuff like that. And then I'm sure you've been through this, Squaw Bob, where, and like my very favorite example, or at least the one that everybody references whenever you talk about that car was really cherry, why did they have to do that to that car in that movie? And it's always the Barracuda from Phantasm 2. And it's not that they wreck it, which all I'm going to do, I'm going to wreck this car. It's going to come back, or at least in the mind of the reader, it won't be a complete and total loss. They blew that car up. That was unnecessary. This one's getting dinged and damaged and stuff like that. They can bring it back to life. Cars can get restored. But you don't blow up the car. Just, I can't stand when they do that. But now that I'm writing this comic book, I'm like, okay, well, sometimes that shit has to happen. Sometimes, you got to scratch the paint. Just, what is it? What did Mao say? It takes a few eggs to, you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Well, you got to scratch some paint. You got to wreck a car. You got to roll a car if you're going to tell a story. So, there's that. Anyways, let's see. How long does it say I've been going here? Does it even tell me? Yeah. An hour. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, I'm going to play around here and see. Let me get my browser in the right place. Let's... This might not be a good idea, and if it is, like if it's a big problem, then, whatever, I'll take it down. But I'm going to let's have some fun and go through Twitter real quick before we get out of here. Live chat. There. All right. Oh, I turned it off. All right. Yeah, let's pull this over here. Okay, James Lindsay, who I follow. Everyone I don't like is... All right, now, is this funny? This is funny to me. And it's funny because it's kind of true. I do not know what... Oh, you're from parts unknown, Squaw Bob. What kind of fish is this? I don't know. It looks like it's gasping for air, though. Oh, is this true? Gavin Newsom announces properties affected by wildfires will be seized by California Democrats and used for climate change inclusive, affordable, low-income housing. Who didn't see that one coming from a mile away? If this is true, then it's sad yet predictable. I don't know about this. No, I can't do that. Cecil, always a wise and funny, hilarious. You know what? Absolutely right. Without hyperbole, this should be the end of the Democrat Party. It should be. They're corrupt to the core, indefensible, looking for ways the Republicans will fumble the ball and accidentally save them. I want to do something here and see what it looks like on the streamlabs. Oh, that's cool. It doesn't show my folder that I'm looking through. That's nice. I'm going to find a picture. I'm going to find a thing that I made yesterday, and it's this. And I believe this 100%. Let me get in here. You tell me what you think. Does this make sense to you? I remember hearing a guy on local radio out here. Jim Quinn used to say that the definition of a conservative is a liberal who's been mugged, and that's where you get your purest conservatives from. That's where you get your 180s from, and that's a lot of times I think where you get your toughest fighters. On our side. Oh, that's right. The Jack Show's on at some point. Is it on now? Who knows? But I might call this one. I'm just going to go through real quick and see what else is going on. I don't think of Charlize Theron. Are you saying that? Blah, blah, blah. Wow. Yeah, people are kind of losing their... Is that a real cat's foot? Okay. Yeah, all right. So a lot of it's just some stupid crap here. Really stupid crap. Okay. All right. I think there's like sometimes I wonder if my Oh, Dave, could you explain that? Burn Atlanta. Oh, Cool Frog. You know, this always happens. People don't show up until I'm like, all right, I'm going to wind it down. What's going on, Cool Frog? Give me the year, Squaw Bob, because I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. My brother lives down there. And we were just there to see him like last summer. We drove back up from Panama City. Here, I'll show you. Whoop, that's art desk. I don't want art. Well, I can show you the art desk. That's what's going on the art desk right now. That's been sitting there for a while. I don't know what to do with that panel because I can see like he's cheated off to the one side a little bit. So unless I want to make like some crazy alterations or start over again. John Kennedy. Do you mean figuratively or? Oh, hey, Cool Frog. Okay, I see. You're making me want to go to Grok and ask John Kennedy burning down Atlanta what that would mean. I don't know if you're talking figuratively or during 2020 or what. Not burned it down, but burned Atlanta. Oh, are you talking about like through elections or something like that? I know. See, that's the thing. I don't know how it is that Republicans can actively burn something. They usually just somebody else sets it on fire and then they don't do anything about it. Their modus operandi is to just be weak. Okay, all right, I see what you mean. But yeah, I mean, he would be considered a conservative today anyways. You know, wait, what am I looking at? Oh, that's quit preview. All right. Yeah, he would be considered a conservative today anyways. At least his policies. And now, do you believe that when those files come out that we're going to find out what everybody already suspects, which is it was the CIA the whole time? Yes, I know Lincoln would have been considered America's first dictator. It's a dangerous thing to say. Yeah, but this time it was okay or it was good or it was a good idea. I don't necessarily think that, but I saw the I saw the Razor Fist video on that. And he made a convincing argument. Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't the government basically a mafia with a flag on the wall, you know? Okay. I'll check it out. If you want to, I mean, I can go, if you want to throw the link into Discord, I'll go by there and grab it. I was going to wrap it up here. Anyways, I've got some work done here. I got some work done in the other room. I still need to pack up a little bit before because I want to get up early and get on the road. But I also had my iPad and Noisemaker out here, and
I feel like I should say something smart.
And didn't even press any of these buttons. How does that sound? I know the video was a little bit quiet earlier, but anyways, yeah. I'll probably wrap it up here. I really appreciate you stopping by, Squaw Bob, man. I love seeing familiar faces, and Cool Frog, you as well. I'll throw I'll throw this one in the finished pile, and go catch a link and see what Cool Frog's doing. But you said you got work you're doing over at the house, and I mean, I guess I'll let you get back to that. I appreciate it, and I'm going to hit this ending soon and see what you guys think.
It was much better than Cats. I'm going to see it again and again. I loved it. It was much better than Cats. I am going to see it again and again. I loved it. It was much better than Cats. I'm going to see it again and again.
Yeah, said Dave. The end.
I have enjoyed this conversation.